Show me your habits and I will show you your destiny. Big quote. I'm not quite sure where it came from. I've seen anywhere from Gandhi to Lao Tzu, but it's a really interesting question to ask yourself. Looking at your habits, can you tell your own destiny? The way I like to think about this is to kind of reverse engineer the question. Hey, I know where I want to go, then what habits do I need to have to get there? Ultimately, I believe that whether we get there or not depends on the habits that we have. What we do repeatedly defines us. This is no better seen than in last year's movie. I don't know if you saw it, about a guy he's a kid and he plays loads of racing video games. He plays them so much, Hollywood, can you imagine? He plays them so much that he becomes a real race car driver and really wins rallies and stuff like this, all because he played so much racing video games. When I saw the trailer for this, I showed it to my video gaming friends and we all kind of scoffed at it and said, what's next? Are people gonna play Call of Duty and then become into professional soldiers? Months later did I find out that this is actually a true story. There's really a guy called Jan Mandelbrot, and he is, played loads of racing games on his PlayStation 1 and 2 and 3, and then ended up having, and still has, a career racing real cars. Much like Jan, we have some kind of goal in mind, whether that's to have, the ideal relationship or the ideal body or the ideal job or the ideal life. The way we're gonna get there is through having good habits. I believe that habits are our shortcut, habits are our highway, they're our mountain pass to the things we want to achieve. So how do we get there? Well, my name is Martin Kadiev. I'm a level 69 warrior, and for the whole of last year I tracked my habits. And this video is about me kind of distilling that information. How can you get a whole year's worth of habit tracking experience and kind of take the benefits from it? Everything I learned, I can group down into two categories. There's motivation and then there's sustainability. When it comes to motivation, the most important thing that you need to remember is that progress inspires progress. The more you do something, the more you see your progress, the more you're gonna be inspired to keep going. This might look like, let's say that you wanna get into your ideal body and you start working out. In the mirror, pretty soon you're gonna see differences, a little bit less fat maybe, a little bit more muscle, a little bit more tone. You're gonna feel good, and that's gonna inspire you to keep going and do more of that. However, if you're learning, let's say, a language, or if you want to change careers and trying to learn web development or what have you, how are you going to make the invisible visible? That's really important. You need to be able to see your progress. And the way that most people do this is by using a habit tracker. Now, the most common way is to just grab a calendar and start crossing off the days that you are building this habit. Each day that you've done the thing, cross it off. And your goal is then to create as long of a chain as possible without breaking any days. The way this might look in practice is, let's say you've done 5 days of your habit. It comes to day 6, you're really lazy, but you don't want to let those other 5 days down, so you're gonna do it even though you don't feel like it. And as the chain becomes stronger, you're gonna become more and more attached of your streak, and you're not gonna want to break it. Naturally, today there's modern iterations of this, such as apps on your phone that can visualize your progress in different ways. There's even an app that kind of gives you a character, and then the more you do the thing, the stronger the character grows, and if you miss any days, the character gets weaker. So different way of visualizing. But it's very important that you find a way how you're going to visualize this, and I recommend you experiment with finding something that works for you. If you don't want to be the kind of person who jumps on their phone first thing in the morning to tick off your habits, then use the calendar method, or maybe do it in a journal. And the second category, we're already on the second category, is about God, what was it about? Sustainability is all about making sure that there's nothing that's going to stop you from developing this habit and keeping it going. Although earlier I mentioned that I tracked my habits for the whole of last year, actually I've been doing it for a bit longer, so this is more like 2 years of experience. The first thing you want to make sure is whatever the habit is, make sure it's palatable. So what I mean by this is that if you want to get in shape, doing a 10-kilometer run every day is out of the question. But doing something like 5,000, 8,000 steps a day is more palatable. You're more likely to do it. Likewise, if you want to start a business, maybe, you know, registering the company is too big a step. So you're going to start smaller, such as reading blog posts about business, for example. The next one's a tough one. You're not going to like this, but there is good in that I've realized this the hard way so that you can learn it the quick way, which is the only way to create a habit is by doing it first thing in the morning. This is before work and after you wake up. The reason this is the morning is the only time that you're going to be undisturbed, that nothing is going to come up that's going to break your habit or it's going to get in your way. Things that can come up are such as, you know, doing overtime at work, or you have anniversary date, or you're going to see your friends, there's a gig happening. All these things can pop up and stop you from doing your habit. So you're going to have to do it first thing in the morning. Also, when it comes to building habits, hopefully I've kind of fired you up and you're thinking, great, I'm going to get up in the morning, I'm going to start working out, and I'm going to read, and I'm going to write, and I'm going to do some meditation. Hold on, cowboy. I've learned that it works best with 3. You know, there's up to 3 things that you can do before it starts to feel like a chore. You know, there's a fine line between doing more and being productive, and also just not enjoying yourself and it feeling like a bit of a chore. So stick to 3 things. It's also important because it's going to make you focus and narrow down on what is really important to you. For example, me, I realized that, doing my German lesson in the morning is something I really want to do, but it's not mission critical. For me, mission critical is doing some kind of exercise in the morning and doing meditation and yoga. Without those things, I'm not myself. So even though I really want to improve my German regularly, I've realized that's something that's not mission critical. Also, whatever you do must take you less than an hour. Like I said earlier, you're going to do this in the morning. And if you have to wake up more than an hour, you're going to lose motivation. You know, that would mean going to bed earlier. That means, you know, less binging TV, maybe less going clubbing or whatever you're doing that's keeping you up late. And lastly, and this is a good one, you're going to like this, is the power of the non-daily habit. So what I mean by this is that most of us, I believe, are doing some kind of Monday to Friday work schedule. And what this means is that when the weekend comes, we're craving for spontaneity. We really want to not be in the hamster wheel. We want to do different stuff, you know, and I hope you do. The way this reflects to your habits is that you can set yourself up so you're only asking yourself to work on these habits Monday to Friday. That way you still benefit from creating a chain and from getting empowered to keep that chain going, while also, you know, really being able to let go on the weekends. You know, don't spend your time in front of the TV on the weekends. Go out, go for a walk, go to a museum. And that is it. I hope you are less disheartened now from looking at the difference between where you want to be and where you are right now. The way we're going to get to where we want is by creating habits, and the way to create good habits is by using habit trackers. Every single tick, every single step you make is one step closer to the thing you want. So keep going. But what do you think? Is there a better way of creating habits? Or are habits not that important for the achievement of our goals in the first place? What about if we reverse this and use this on bad habits? Are we able to create a streak of days where we've not done said bad habit and then keep going? Let me know what you think. I would love to discuss this with you. Thanks for watching the video. Any feedback is highly appreciated, and I hope to see you soon.